All right. Hi there, guys. Last minute organisation today. Rushing around getting started. So here we are then, the Wednesday Runda ride. One of my usual weekly races. 130 riders online, that's good. So 54k race today. And we're off. Away we go. Straight into it then. Yeah, it's a 54k race today with around 420 meters of climbing in total. You can see the gradient chart at the bottom. Looks like it's an out and back a little bit. Oh. But we've got a bit of a steep, sharp climb. It's about 40k into the race. So till that point, just going to be trying to enjoy the ride, not get dropped, not have any power issues like I have done recently. Had a pretty decent ride last week in the Runda. I think I was 12th or 13th. The week before that, I had the issue at the start of the race where my power meter dropped out. I had a long chase. That was good fun, good workout. So there's no big climbs in the first 40k, but it is pretty undulating. And you can see on the gradient at the bottom, it does slope up towards that sharp hill. So the hill itself is only about 1.5k, but there are some steep sections in that. There are some double-digit sections, but there's a good 10k after that. So even if, and I'm sure I will, not be in the very front of the group over the top, depending on how it goes down, could end up in a little group. That'd be pretty good. Like last week, we had what, 4, 5 of us. Managed to stay in our little group to the end. They're always interesting roads on the Runda. Quite a nice place to ride, Slovenia, by the look of things. Judging by the routes we have done. Normally pretty lumpy. Not big mountains, but quite often a good few 300-400 meter climbs. Yeah, I do like the Wednesday ride. Nice 50k plus ride. Hour and 20 minutes or so, a bit longer in the midweek. Sometimes it's a bit of an effort after the Tuesday night track. But it's a good solid workout. Stay alert. I was doing a bit of typing, a bit of multitasking. Ooh. My heart rate monitor's falling down. There we go. Time to warm up now. So nice decent sized group then, rolling along. Like a little bit of a sharp uphill, about 600 meters. There it is then. Oh, up we go. Spread out a bit. So we're pushing up. Get the fan on. Oh. Sharp end, I'm on the outside. So, if you guys haven't seen yet, the RGT DB website has today launched the first of the ranking events. So it's going to be a results-based system. And you'll be classified into one of 4 divisions: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, depending on your rank. And the ranking is calculated on an ELO system, a bit like chess. So if I'm in a race, if there are 20 riders in a race, you essentially take points off each other. So if you do well, you get more points. It depends on the quality of the field as well. So you had a low ranking, and you came in and beat lots of good riders, your ranking would go up more than a good rider beating lots of lower ranked riders. So that's quite exciting. So the first ranked race, which is this evening, is a test event. It's going to take a while for the rankings to come together. People to do a few races for the points to start making a difference. And it's still just testing at this stage to see how it performs. But it's a big step forward for racing on RGT. So go check out the database website. There's more details on there. But yeah, it's certainly an exciting time for RGT and the platform. Oh. But this is backed by RGT themselves. They've been involved with the development of the system. They're supportive, and eventually it will lead to the ability to actually categorize races and limit entries. So if an event organizer wants to just have a bronze level event, they can do. And they won't have to worry about silver or gold riders being able to sign up and affecting the race. So that's really positive as well. But there will be controls about what races you can enter. It will take a while to get to that point. You need to be able to have some distribution in the ranking system initially. Oh. So go check out the rankings page on the database website, rgtdb.com. All the info's on there. As I said, it's just a beta at the moment. It's being opened up to do some testing. I'm not saying this is what the system's going to be like for good, but the team behind it, so Mike Swart, Oliver Dowd, Alex Plager, they've done a lot of the programming and the maths behind it. And we think that's a pretty solid system, really. We feel that it's a better system than just looking at your watts per kilo. And it will also discourage people from riding down. So if you're a platinum level rider, and then you go ride in a bronze level event, you might try and sneak in somehow, get hold of the code. Well, there's no benefit for you, because if you win, you're not going to get any points, because you're platinum and everyone else is bronze. But if they beat you, they're going to take a lot of your points. So it's going to be good for them and bad for you. So hopefully, even without some sort of controls on race entry, it should prevent people from so-called sandbagging and entering races below their assigned category. So I'm really interested to see how this works out, how it develops. Go check out the ranked races. We need people to enter them and start upsetting the leaderboard. Because at the moment, as of right now, everyone is ranked exactly the same. But after that first event, some people will be slightly higher, some people will be slightly lower. And then they'll go into another race, and it will affect that race. And it will soon snowball, and there'll soon be lots of changes in the rankings. And then we can look under the bonnet, behind the scenes, and we can see where riders are falling. We can make sure that we've got a good spread, see if it needs tweaking. We don't want everybody ending up in gold or in platinum. No good everyone being in the same category. Defeats the purpose of it all. Oh. Already getting warm. 12k in. We're flying along. Seems to be going pretty quickly. Hey John. Sorry, I've been a bit slow checking the messages. I've been ranting away here about the new ranking system. Not ranting, explaining and describing the new ranking system. But yeah, nice. I've got a webcam now. You can see me in all my glory. Trying to keep the top on for a bit of decency, but it does make me pretty warm. I didn't get dropped this week, so that's a bonus. I'm in the pack. Hey Scott, thanks for joining. There's still an hour's worth of riding to go. So this course would normally be good for me, just apart from that little spiky bit. But it's one of the flattest rundas for a while. So I did use the Magic Road analyzer that you get when you submit your own Magic Road to look at the route profile for today. So if you've ever sent a Magic Road into RGT, it comes back with a detailed report that you can look at. And if you switch out the code at the end of the web link, you can view any Magic Road. It's pretty handy for seeing more detail. So that red section, it's not a huge climb, maybe only 150 meters, but it's pretty steep. There are some 15% sections in there. Yeah, I've gone with the wrong top tonight, John. I've got like a loose training top, like a t-shirt that I wore the first day. But it's pretty cold when I first come in here. This is like a bit lined as well, so Yeah, it's warm. Looks like my heart rate monitor's gone again. Playing up a bit. Yeah, so that red section is about 1.5k. Little climb here then. For that descent. Make sure I don't get too far back here. Got one of the Rasio boys on the front pushing the pace. Yep, the Mr. Plager. And because we've got that sharp descent, that's the danger. If you're too far back, and then the front starts speeding up, and you fall off the back, it's hard to come back. So with the new dynamics, it is a little bit easier. I'm safely in though. Yeah, last night was a bummer. I do like the elimination race as well. Yeah, John, I think what we've spotted is the draft on a downhill, and I assume at any point it's capped at 600 watts. That means that the pace and the acceleration of the pack on a downhill is slightly reduced. You don't get that chain reaction effect of people coming to the front, then people leapfrogging because they've got over 1,000 watts draft saving. You can see it there. Actually, I was on the front. I'm still on the front row, and no one's coming, steaming past on that downhill section. Slightly changing now because we're hitting a slight uphill. Yeah, it's something I probably need to go back and re-watch. Because I did the TNT last week. So that had a few sprint finishes. And then, and the elimination, of course. And then this week, we had the scratch race and a 1,000-meter sprint race. And yeah, it's not something I'd really considered, John. But you're right that I did actually notice that I found it a little bit harder to catch people in that sprint. And whether that's just me being a bit tired, but actually, yeah, it could be that is that draft effect being slightly downplayed. You're not able to get that 1,000-watt saving and slingshot past people like you were used to. I know yesterday on the scratch race, at the end, I felt like I was pushing hard, not quite making as much ground as I'd expect. And the same last week in the elimination. And I put it down a little bit to just being a bit slow to react or mistiming, but yeah, it could be. So that's having an effect, and now you do need to go that little bit earlier just to factor that in. Scott, that wingman event, that looks good. Maxine's done a good job setting that up. Looks interesting. Another slightly different format. It's the 2-up GT tonight, isn't it? I think that'll be interesting with the different courses over the next few weeks. I mentioned, I think last night, at the moment I'm just enjoying being a free agent, doing my own program, doing my own races, not worry too much about being fresh for certain events. Well, I raced against Ollie on the community event for the crit race. Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. Oh, the Joe Martin crit race. And he won the community event. At the moment, there's a really close three-way battle between myself, James Malville and Ned Bowen in the community leaderboard. So it's James, Ned, me are the top three. And there's only about 30 points between us. So I think I might be missing the race on Sunday this week, which means I'm going to fall out of the run-in, which is a bit of a shame. I think I've done 9 or 10 events. I think there's 4 left. 2 this weekend, then 2 in a fortnight's time. Well, I think it's been consistency as much as anything, John, just getting along to every event. But it's been pretty tough with a lot of the pro guys stepping down into the community races the week before, do some recon. I picked up a 6th on the crit race, I was pretty happy with that. But then Ned was 1 place ahead and Malville was 2. So, yeah, it's a good battle, but it's Valentine's Day on Sunday. And the race starts pretty late in the UK, about 8 o'clock. And it's going to be a 2-hour race. Yeah, I heard Kevin did quite well. He got 5th, I think, was it the crit race or the overall? Well, I'm fully committed now, Scott, to RGT. I know John kind of splits his time between the two. Oh, I might look easy, that's because I got the webcam on easy mode. You can't see all the real effort that I'm putting in. I'm actually sweating quite a lot. Luckily the camera's not too much detail. I can't say I miss Swift, really. Being honest, you know, I prefer the racing on RGT. Maybe that's because I'm able to hang at the front a bit more. But I do think it's more of a leveler. You know, some of the guys that were racing in the Cat 1 races John included. You know, they're racing in the Swift Premier League. And I'd ride in Division 1. I'd get my, finishing mid-table in Div 1. So at least in RGT I can at least get to the finish line, get in that bunch on some courses. Whereas on Swift I'd just be absolutely shelled out the back. You should check out some of the Gran Fondo National Series events, John, and anyone else who didn't do one last weekend, because they were a lot of fun. Because it's not based on your overall time, based on 4 time sections along the route, so it became very tactical, very cat and mouse. That was really interesting. Yeah, that's the problem, Amelia. I've ended up spending money on my setup. Got a nice big TV, bought a new computer, then I've got a microphone and I've got a webcam. I think there's one in Georgia, John, so I get confused. That you're Alabama, right? So there's 8 different ones, so there might be one close to you. Nice. That one with Igor Kops. I know he's got a few World Championship jerseys. He's like a 4-time winner of the amateur time trial, I think. Yeah, even on the downhill, Scott, are just ridiculous. The Florida one was this weekend. Yeah, it was good. I was in the same race as Alex, so we were both very competitive with each other. So we've still got a front group of 28. Yeah, Paul's been doing a good job in the WKG group. Hi, Francois. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, Chris. I think the big thing for me between RGT and Swift is, even without the draft, say it was the same dynamic, what I like is the Magic Roads. It just offers so much more variety, keeps every race fresh. You don't know how it's going to go. You've got to think on the road. I like that. I like being able to think as well as, it's a mental effort as well as a physical effort. Especially on, say, a lapped course. Crit circuit, new crit circuit, you do a few laps, you work out where the best place to sprint is on the final lap. That does rely on you looking at the course profile though, John, and seeing how many laps it is. So there is a leaked Android version, Chris. So if you go to the Facebook group, RGT Cycling Users, and if you search in there for Android or leak, then there's a beta version that's available. They being RGT, are working on a proper Android version that will be fully supported. But at the moment, it's Windows, I think Mac, and then Apple devices, because it's easier for RGT to control the testing and rollout onto Apple devices. With Android, there's something like 1,000 or 10,000 different devices, and making sure it works with every format, every type of device is a lot of work. But I know that they are working on it. Yeah, the thing with a lot of people, there's swings and roundabouts really. Little bump here. Now I'm riding here with 118 riders in the event, 30 or so in this front group. And I can probably tell you about 15 of them. Now it's good being able to race against familiar guys. So we got Alex Plager, Henrik Merd, Carneal, Riemans, Saidi, Jenko, Samashin, Cops. I know Cops is going to go hard up that red pointy bit. I know Alex has a strong sprint. Toffoli is pretty good up the hills, pretty good on the sprints. I could go ride on Swift with 1,000 people and not know anyone in the event. I might as well be on RGT with 100 bots. I know there's still some joy in, finishing in the top 100 or top 50 in such a big event. But at the same time, there's quite a lot of joy in racing against Plager or Janssens, beating them or getting beaten by them and then thinking, right, I'm going to make sure I beat him next time. Trying to beat John Crane. You start to understand what people's strengths are, what people's weaknesses are. I think with Swift, you get a good workout, don't you, for a Swift race? It's a solid effort. There's no real recovery. You're pretty much threshold the whole time. So, there is a place for that type of riding and racing. Actually doing a 50k race today, I could probably do the same relative effort in a 20k race on Swift, or another type of event like an elimination or something. So swings and roundabouts. And yeah, I think you're right, Scott. Why does it have to be one or the other? I don't think anyone's saying you can only ride on one platform. You have to pick one. You have to have an allegiance to one or the other. Well, they're different. Some people ride time trials. Some people ride criterium. Some people ride road races. They're all just riding bikes, but they're all doing different things. So if I want to ride on Swift, or I want to ride on RGT, or I want to ride on both, and Peloton, and Ruby or full gas. Why not? Yeah, exactly, John. You know, it's like ridiculous saying, well, you can't play Mario Kart and Gran Turismo or Need for Speed. They offer different things at the end of the day. I prefer RGT, so I spend my time here. I did see some of the Be Cool velodrome, which actually didn't look that great, to be honest. But did have some pro riders on it doing an event. But, you know, the big thing for me with RGT as well is, you know, the community are involved. And maybe that's how it was in the early days of Swift 4 years ago. You know, it got so big that those relationships have just become unmanageable. But you think the tools that we have on RGT are great. You know, the way that you can set up a weekly recurring crit race or an Omnium style event on a Tuesday with 4 events back to back. You should check out tomorrow, John, Thursday evenings, American time. There's another Omnium. Cheers, Scott. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me waffle away for 20 minutes. I think what's interesting, John, is if you go on, you know, the Swift Rider Facebook page or the Swift forums, you know, what events are people, what other platforms are people talking about? Oh, I'm so pissed off with Swift, it keeps crashing. Maybe I'll give RGT a go. You know, maybe I'll give, yeah, well, maybe Veloton, but you don't see really people talking about Ruby or Be Cool, Full Gas, Trainer Road. You know, it's probably maybe a couple of mentions, but I would say at the moment RGT is looking like the best alternative for people. We're on this drag then, up to the pointy climb. Going to be losing a bit of draft along here as it slightly ramps up. A couple of little bumps on the way. Yeah, it's called the Hour of Power, John. So it's a little scratch race to start with, about 7k. Then there's a sprint effort, I think 500 meters. Then there's a hill climb. And then it finishes with elimination. So there's a 4 individual events and an overall leaderboard. It's actually organised by a Canadian. She's a coach now, but a former 3-time Olympic track cyclist called Tanya Godnikov. I hope I've got that right. Also raced at several world championships on the track. That's pretty cool. He's working with some juniors over in Canada. Hey Mike. I think you're sending me messages on the Discord, but a bit busy right now. So I do try to multitask. I do get a bit of admin done when I'm riding. So this race has been flying along. Completely missed the halfway point. Well, we are cruising along at what, 45 kilometers an hour, 28 miles an hour. So even uphill, you're going to get a good draft saving from that. It's all relative to speed. We're cruising along quite nicely. One of those little bumps then. Make sure we don't get dropped before the hill. Cheers, Paul. Have a good race. You paired up with Scott. Either way, good luck with that. Thanks for taking part in the weekly time trial event as well. Getting a WKG event over, but not event team. Oh, my webcam's frozen. And we're back. Yeah. I think Scott's in the race as well, so a little bit of inter-club rivalry there for you, Paul. So I think we're about 4K for the start of the red zone. So it's only about 1.5K, but there's a good few 100 meters of 10% or more, and a few meters of 15% or more. But there's still 12K or so to the finish after that. So if we can get a little group, even if it breaks apart, there's time to come back. Catch you later, Paul. Cheers for tuning in. There's Igor Cox in the pink there. Cruising at the back. There's Alex Plager in the black and the orange helmet. So cruising at the back, widely experienced riders and racers on RGT. So my rider list is frozen, that's a bit frustrating. I can't seem to fix it. That's going to be annoying on the downhill finish if I'm trying to close some gaps up. There is a screen app update that I've not installed yet, so I need to get that sorted. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, for fuck's sake. Fucking hell. Well, oh shite, screen app crashed. Game over. Well, I told you, didn't I was having problems with that leaderboard. I was trying to sort it on my phone. And it had the little icon saying the screen app had disconnected from the phone. I'm talking gibberish at the minute because I don't know if it's because I have a Wi-Fi extender and my phone was on the Wi-Fi extender and the main PC is on the main Wi-Fi, but I looked at the phone and the phone app was gone, it was crashed. I had to reload it up. So that's why I had no power. Power's on the floor as well now. So that's frustrating. I'm in no man's land, look, I'm over a kilometre ahead of that chase group. 600 metres behind that front group. Alright, I'm going to send a support ticket, see if they can sort it out. Always worth submitting a ticket so they can see what the issue was. You know, give them the feedback. They don't know there's issues, they can't fix them. I'll find that event for you, John, whilst I'm not doing anything else. Right. There you go, John. That's for you. I've done it again. It's saying it's not connected. The little icon in the top right keeps changing from green to the little screen with a line through it. The stream's working all right. Not dropped any frames there. I try not to touch my phone normally. Yeah, we're both on the same Wi-Fi, phone and screen. I get hot enough, John. I need the fans pointing at me. To be fair, I've not had a phone app crash for, well, who knows when. Well, it's every week, John, so maybe you can check it out in the future. Maybe I'll pick up a couple of riders on this climb then. You can see on the left hand side all those riders ahead of me. Red power numbers, red power bars on the left. They're on the steep section, they're working hard. You can see it there, look, it's less than a kilometre to the top. There we go, double digit numbers. For the gradient. Tell me about it. This is a gentle one for the Runda. Come on. I can see them up the road. Kristovich and Riemans. 100 meters. Oh gosh. Right, bit of recovery. Inside 10k then. 15 to 20 minutes. Come on then, we can catch white, I reckon. Probably not those other three ahead of him. I'm focused now. Less chat, more riding. There he is then, there's white. Just up the road. Cheers, John. Well, it's only about 10 minutes to the end. Not long now. I wonder if there was an issue for others. Suddenly there's only 97 riders left. I don't know when that happens. Oh. I think our group's going to be pretty much set in these positions now. A kilometre to the next group, up the road, 1.7k to the rider behind us, only 5k to go. So there'll probably be a little bit of cat and mouse from these guys. Yeah, 5k to go now. We'd have to be going some to catch that group in front. I don't think that's going to happen. So, the games begin then. White's gone, maybe 20 metres back. He's coming back on now. Yeah, there's a bit of weird overlapping, Mike. The start and beginning of the route are pretty close together. There's a couple of double-decker sections. Normally these routes are pretty well smoothed. We had one the other week that was an out and back, up a hill and back. And that was perfect for an out and back. So those front two groups don't look like they're too far apart. In the bottom right, the two little dots are pretty close. Shame about the issue with the phone, never mind. Still a good workout. Good job it's not a ranked race. Right, 1k to that little bump. Sure there'll be another attack at that point. Top's going to come off for the last few minutes. So the leaders aren't far off then. Should be getting a winner pop up on the screen anytime now. So shook two of the guys off then with that little attack. Some more wild roads here then. Try and go at it. Oh, it's a loop. What's going on? Ah. Ah. That was a crazy finish. Ah. Ah. Oh. Slightly unexpected there. Ooh. Slightly crazy with the roads at the end. Ah. Managed to shake off those guys behind me there at the end. That was good. Solid. I'm all right with that in the end. So yeah, it was all pretty close at the front there. Wasn't that far away. Shame about that incident, but it's all part of it. Managed to have a good finish at last. 10k was a pretty solid workout. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Probably now racing, next race will be Saturday in the Echelon Racing League for the community event. Should be the Indianapolis Indy Crit, I think it is. So that's only 37k, pretty much dead flat, a few corners. That should be good fun. All right, cheers guys, thanks again, and I will catch you next time.